Hi guys, welcome to this session of What-If Analysis and Scenario Manager in Excel as a useful tool to predict the future with what-if analysis. A useful tool to predict the future with what-if analysis. Let's understand what-if analysis in depth to plan to achieve the target of the organization. What-if analysis is a process used in decision-making and problem-solving. It involves changing the values in a set of assumptions or inputs to observe how those changes affect the outcomes or results. It is often used in business, finance, economics, and various scientific fields to predict the impact of different scenarios and make informed decisions. Let's recollect once again. What-if analysis is a process used in decision-making and problem-solving. It involves changing the values in a set of assumptions or inputs to observe how those changes affect the outcomes or results. It is often used in business, finance, economics, and various scientific fields to predict the impact of different scenarios and make informed decisions. Now let's concentrate on the different what-if analysis tools. The different what-if analysis tools. 1. Scenario Manager. 2. Data Table. 3. Goal Seek. Scenario Manager in Excel is a powerful tool that allows you to create and analyze different scenarios by changing the values of input variables to see how those changes affect the output. This is particularly useful for performing what-if analysis, where you want to explore different outcomes based on various assumptions. For example, in a budgeting scenario, variables could include sales revenue, expenses, production costs, advertising costs, etc. Let's explore how to use Scenario Manager in Excel. Step 1. Set up your worksheet. First, create a spreadsheet with the necessary input variables and the formula that calculates the desired outcome. Here is a simple spreadsheet that can be created with the necessary input variables and the formula that calculates the desired outcome. The input variables are selling price per unit, quantity sold, variable cost per unit, and fixed costs. The calculated fields are total revenue calculated as selling price multiplied by quantity sold. Total variable cost is calculated as variable cost multiplied by quantity sold. Total cost is calculated as total variable cost plus fixed costs. Profit is calculated as total revenue minus total costs. Now let's create a sample worksheet in Excel with the sample data and formulae discussed. Step 2. Access Scenario Manager. Go to the Data tab on the Excel ribbon. In the Forecast group, click on What-If Analysis and then select Scenario Manager from the drop-down menu. Step 3. Create a scenario. Scenario name, Best Case. Changing cells. A1 selling. Price. A2 quantity sold. A3 variable cost. Values for best case. Selling price equals 60. Quantity sold equals 1,500. Variable cost equals 25. Also create another scenarios as follows. Scenario name, worst case. Values for worst case. Selling price equals 40. Quantity sold equals 800. Variable cost equals 35. Scenario name, most likely case. Values for most likely case. Selling price equals 50. Quantity sold equals 1,000. Variable cost equals 30. The outcome or result desired is shown here. The expected outcome from the scenario manager. Observe the profit and total revenue, how it changes by changing the inputs on which these calculated fields depends. Here is the Excel worksheet with the sample data and the formulae. The idea is to use Scenario Manager to analyze the impact of different pricing and sales scenarios on profit, helping one make to take decision to achieve the targets of the business. Input parameters. Selling price per unit. Number of units sold. Variable cost per unit. The fixed costs required in an organization to produce these units. Total revenue is calculated as selling price multiplied by quantity sold. Total variable cost is calculated as quantity sold multiplied by variable cost. Total cost is calculated as total variable cost plus fixed costs. Profit as total revenue minus total cost. The required formulae is written as can be seen. Total variable cost is calculated as quantity sold multiplied by variable cost. Total cost is calculated as total variable cost plus fixed costs. Profit as total revenue minus total cost. Let's analyze profit based on different sales scenarios. Here are 3 scenarios: best case, worst case, and finally the most likely scenario cases. The input variables to change are selling price, quantity sold, and variable cost. To find the changes in the outcome or the resultant profit. Step 2. Access Scenario Manager. Go to the Data tab on the Excel ribbon. Click on What If Analysis and then select Scenario Manager from the drop-down menu. It displays the Scenario Manager dialog box. Click on Add button to first create the best case scenario. Enter scenario name as best case. See the drop-down with the changing cell. Now select cells that contains the input variables on which the outcome profit depends. Select cells containing selling price per unit, quantity sold, and variable costs separated by commas. Now click on OK button. Enter input variables values for best case as follows. Values for best case. Selling price equals 60. Quantity sold equals 1,500. Variable cost equals 25. Click on OK button. Best case scenario created. Now click on Add button to add worst case and most likely cases. Input variables are same. However, the values of each will change. Values for worst case. Selling price equals 40. Quantity sold equals 800. Variable cost equals 35. Now let's create the most likely case as scenario name, most likely case. Values for most likely case. Selling price equals 50. Quantity sold equals 1,000. Variable cost equals 30. Values for most likely case. Selling price equals 50. Quantity sold equals 1,000. Variable cost equals 30. Once all the scenario case added, now click on Summary button to see the different scenarios created by Excel to analyze the profit. You can specify the calculated fields depending on the input variables are selected to include in the scenario. Here are the scenarios created by Excel. Observe loss of 6,000 in worst case. Observe a new Excel worksheet with the scenarios is created. The top management can use this useful information to set the targets or an objectives for the business. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hi guys, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. Please like, share the video, and subscribe the channel for incoming videos. Once again, thanks for watching it.